Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Ready to Love Season 7, Episode 8. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, the ladies are meeting with Tommy. It's only 6 of them left. So Tommy tells them that it's important that we learn from our failed relationships, so it's time for the men to meet their exes. Now, listen, I never understood that because in real life, I would never introduce my ex to my next. Honey, you're dead to me. Well, no, they might not be dead to me, but honey, you will not be involved in my decision making, honey. Obviously, I don't make good choices because I chose you and you are not an ex. So, child, goodbye. So the ladies leave and Jeffrey stays back because she need to talk to Tommy. So she's telling Tommy that, you know, her two exes are the father of her kids and she hasn't seen hide nor hair from either one of them. So she was like, I ain't got no exes. I know this is a part of the process, but I don't have anybody to introduce. And I thought that was quite interesting. So Tommy tells her if she can't find an ex, then she needs to tell her connections exactly why she cannot find no ex. Now, it's really awful that, you know, they're not involved in their kids' life. Baby, I hate a deadbeat. Okay, let's just get that out the way. I can't stand a deadbeat. But ma'am, it ain't not nobody in between those two men. Not nobody. The way you've been walking around here using that baby voice on everybody you mean to tell me you have not met a man since those two? Okay, moving forward. In the next scene, Morgan meets up with her ex Junior to meet London and Tony. What is Junior's real name? Why did you let this man come on the show and call himself Junior? Junior! Why are you using your nickname, honey? What is your government name? Child, talking about some Junior. So Lyndon shows up first and he sits down. So Junior was asking what he liked about Morgan. He's like, can I say everything? He's like, no. He said, well, I don't know much about her right now, so I'm going to say everything. So then Tony shows up with his plaid shirt on. Child, listen. Tony is one of those people that doesn't know how to dress, and he definitely cannot dress down, because when you see him with the suits on, you're like, oh, okay, all right, he look all right. But baby, that plaid shirt was a fool. Okay, it was a fool. So he come with his chest all pumped out. He's like, yeah, my first impression of Junior was really like he's very short. Tony, it's giving insecure, honey. Shout out to Issa Rae. It's giving very much insecure. He always talking about some other man. You and your plaid shirt aren't exactly giving Shaquille O'Neal height your damn self, okay? You almost missed the height requirements to ride that ride. So what exactly are you talking about? I always got something to say. So they sit down and he asked Tony the exact same question. What did he like about Morgan? And so he was like, well, you know, I like her looks. I mean, look at her. But then I thought about it and I really like our spiritual connection. You meant exactly what you said the first time. You like her looks and you ain't fooling me. So Junior was like, well, you know, she wanted nothing and I really wanted something serious. And she was like, what? What did you like about me? So you trying to say I didn't want anything serious? And he was like, no, you didn't want anything serious, then I did. She said, no, I was okay with keeping it surface level. You know, we were dipping it and doing it. And you wanted something more. So then he said, yeah, and also she got a little temper on her. Oh, child, we know. We seen it last episode. So basically, this is what went down. He said he went out, came home, and she started going off about him washing his hair with a certain shampoo, and she started putting something in his hair. So he said he really wasn't thinking nothing of it, and then all of his hair started coming out in clumps. He said she thought he had cheated, so she put Nair in his hair. Let me tell y'all something. If my pride and joy was my hair and somebody put Nair in my hair and I am now slicker than a snicker, I'm going to be pissed. And also, I want to point this out. Morgan was sitting up there just chuckling it up, laughing. Baby, it's not cute. It's toxic. And it's borderline abusive, because if the roles were reversed and one of the men's exes came and said, yeah, you know, he thought I was cheating. So when I was asleep, he cut my hair into a pixie cut. No, keep your damn hands to yourself. And what I'm trying to figure out is this. If you didn't want anything serious with him, then why are you scalping him in the middle of the night? Why? You don't even like him like that. Morgan, you might be a little bit unstable, honey. You might be unstable. Tony, let me tell you something. If you two get together, y'all are bound to have to bail each other out of jail. I'm just saying. Moving forward. So they're talking, right? And she was like, well, y'all get this though. I had strep throat, and I look over on Instagram and he out with his ex or his sister-in-law or somebody he was out with, y'all. He wasn't out with me. So Lyndon goes, well, did you tell her that? He said, no, I don't think she would have liked that. She was like, I would have liked it if you would have told me. And the whole time these two talking, I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all seem to have unfinished business. Junior, are you here because Morgan wants to make you jealous? Because we know Morgan uses Lyndon to make Tony jealous. Is she using Tony and Lyndon to make Junior jealous? Honey, I don't know what's going on, but it's looking like that to me. Because the way she was looking at him and the way she was leaning in and Junior was speaking, I'm like, what is going on, honey? So he was like, well, what would y'all have done that would have been different from what I did? So Lyndon basically said, I don't have enough energy to lie. Okay, the truth gonna come out eventually. What you do in the dark gonna come to the light. I ain't got time for it. Tony said, I would have communicated. Like, if you did that, then it wouldn't have turned out the way that it did. So Lyndon was like, well, if it did, then we wouldn't be here. He said, I mean, it's a possibility. I'm sensing that we wouldn't have been here. Tony feels like she has more feelings than she's letting on for Junior. And let me tell y'all something, honey. This might be an unpopular opinion. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. I think for once, Tony is right. I sense that too. I sense that the two of them still have unfinished business. And child, knowing Morgan, honey, she probably brought him on this show to try to make him jealous, honey. I don't trust it. He said no woman would do the whole Nair thing if there was nothing there. You are absolutely right, Tony. You are absolutely right. Pretty Tony, what they call. Child, she was like, I mean, I still like my connection with Lyndon, but I'm seeing some red flags in Tony. Both of y'all are walking red flags. Both of y'all. And girl, you should have seen Tony's red flags a long time ago when you was trying to put him in a chokehold and make sure he ain't talk to none of them other women. Anywho, in the next scene, Cynthia brings her children's father, James, to meet Andre and Anthony. Baby, this right here was a fool. Andre comes walking up. I am so sick of Andre's style choices. I'm sick of. Somebody call the fashion police. Baby, I am so tired. This right here cracked me up though, y'all. So he walked up. And James said, that's one of your guys, the one with the shag? When I tell y'all I hollered, I said, baby, don't do him. Oh, my goodness. So Andre comes in and sits on down, honey, because he thinks he's about to get ready to schmooze James, right? So he was like, so you're her ex? He said, huh? Speak up. All I could think about was that TikTok. Speak up. That's all I could think about when he was talking. But anywho, he was like, speak up. Sir, stop it with the big D contest. Okay? Stop slanging it all across the table. Please calm down. So he's like, well, Cynthia is strong. That's what I can say about her. She's really strong. He said, how you don't know it's a facade? He said, I don't, because, you know, people do show up with their representatives. So James said, how I know you not acting? He said, well, you can ask me direct questions and I'll give you a direct answer. So he was like, do you have kids? He said, no. He said, how old are you? He said, 39. He said, why you ain't got kids? What's wrong with him not having kids? First of all, he can't even pick out his own damn hairstyle, honey. He don't know what he want to do. It's faded in the back. It's a puff at the top. He got a ducktail on one side. He got a bang, not the bang, honey. He got so much going on up top that he don't have time to decide whether or not he want no kids. Please leave this man alone, because everybody does not need to procreate. So let him get himself together first, head first, and then have some children. Boy, anyway, over on the other side, Jeffrey is meeting with Mark Anthony and Blue to tell them about why they aren't meeting with an ex. So she tells them that both of her exes, you know, basically bounced. They don't have a relationship with her children. And she's like, I did date people in between, but, you know, it was nothing. Okay, so where are the people from the in between? Where are they? Back over with Cynthia, her ex is still grilling Andre, and Anthony shows up. Hey, sir. So Cynthia ex is rude as hell. Okay, let's just get that out the way. He is rude as hell. Now, I understand that these are his kids that are involved in this, and he wants to like and know and trust the person that will be around his kids. But I feel like he was just putting on the show. Like, sir, please calm down. He having a pissing contest with Andre. Andre is trying to explain himself to James. He's like, I didn't ask you about that. I asked you about a relationship. He said, well, I'm lost because first you asked me about the children. Now, I'm just trying to answer you, dude. I'm just trying to answer you. So James said, okay, so answer it. He said, because you have 2 kids and he has none. So Anthony was like, well, I have a 5-year-old, so I know how it go. He said, so why y'all didn't work out? Why didn't you and Cynthia work out? I do not like his energy. Cynthia, I'm surprised somebody like you without y'all. I don't know. This energy is not making no sense. So Anthony was like, well, we focused more on our careers in our daughter than we did each other. We neglected each other. So then he asked Anthony, well, how many other women did you have after her? He said one. He said only one. He said, yeah, that's all I needed. So James is like, yeah, I still think you hiding something. Ace Hood and his Mr. T Chains are doing entirely too much. Okay, you're doing entirely too much. Back with Jeffrey, Blue is like, so there's no ex that you're cool with? Honey, Blue said, let's get to the bottom of this. I know that's right, Blue. You ain't spoke all season, honey, but when you speak, you speaking with some sense. Where they at? Huh? Where's that ex? So she was like, yeah, I don't keep up with my exes. Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't blame her, okay? I'm cool with my exes, don't get me wrong, so I can call them if I needed to. But I also know there are some people who cut them completely off. So I, again, want to know, are these the only men that you've ever dated? There was absolutely nobody else. They brought people from high school before. Girl, where's your elementary crush? Anybody? Nobody? Okay. So Blue was like, just think it's kind of weird. Like I'm asking her questions about her ex and I don't know if this is an excuse or what. So Mark Anthony is unfazed, honey, because he just there to get some kisses and he just want to do the deed and he ain't fooling me. So he was like, so how do you feel? And she said, I'm fine with no baby daddy drama. Me and my babies are at peace. We're good. But, I show them movies with family units so they know that this is how it should be. And they need to prepare for that because it's going to happen for them. It really is. Blue was like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Blue was like, yeah, I ain't buying it, child. Back with the other three, Cynthia, James, Andre, and his curl. Everything Andre is saying, James got something to say, honey. He is not for it. He said, I need to know what y'all bring to the table. So here go Andre. I don't know. We're still exploring. Tomorrow, I may not be interested. Say what? Now, Cynthia, I hope you heard that because the fact that he came back running up to Mercedes, no wonder she didn't keep up with you. I might not be interested tomorrow. But you had enough nerve to come out of your mouth and say the fact that this woman didn't hunt you down after you left this process and she had known you for all of a week. That showed what kind of person she is. No, you saying right here in this moment, I might not be interested tomorrow. That shows what kind of person you are. And really and truly, you would have been interested tomorrow had you not met James. You don't want to have to deal with him. So if you're going to be with Cynthia, you're going to have to deal with him and you ain't for it. So you're like, listen, I might not even be interested in her tomorrow. I'm good. James was like, well, I can't let you play with her. He said, listen, dude, I can't just be with any old body. I've been featured in Forbes. And what else is going on? And what issue was it? Okay. Was there a stylist on set? Was it just an article or was a picture included? I got questions. Baby, I got so many questions. What is going on, honey? So these two get heated, honey. They're going back and forth and back. So he's like, I didn't ask you about your resume. I'm asking you about your relationship. And I understood that part because, Andre, what does you being in Forbes have to do with anything? Like, what does that have to do? What does one have to do with the other? So Andre gets up. He's like, yeah, I got to go. I'm not about to do this with you. I got to go. I think it was for the best. So Anthony's sitting over here looking at the energy between these two. And he was like, I'm not going to let this dude play in my face. So James looks to him and he's like, I just want the best for her. I put her through a lot. Child, we can tell. So Anthony wants to know if he's open to other men around his kids. No, absolutely not. That is why he's trying to run y'all off. He said, yeah, but I just don't know about him. So James said, because if we're blending families and whatnot, what if your kid wants 10 items or 10 things? And what if my kids want 10 things? Anthony said, if your kid wants 10 things, they will get 10 things. And then I will ask your son, does he want 10 things or does he want something else? So James is like, yeah, I like your conversation more than Andre. Anthony said, I feel you. Listen to me. Listen to me. The way in which Anthony answered those questions, I was here for it. I'm a sucker for a man who can assert himself with a little bit of zhuzh, honey, a little bit of swag. He said, I feel you. I said, oh, okay. Well, let's get into it. Baby, I like that, honey. I was all for it. I was like, okay, well, let's get into it then. Because this is a far cry from when you were dancing all cringy with Susu in that living room. It really is. So James is like, yeah, I just still feel like you hiding something. I'm still skeptical. Anthony is like, well, I mean, you're a father. You should be. He said, listen, I got to go, though, because I got to get up out of here. James talking about, no, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. No, nobody wants to talk to you, sir. Anthony said, listen, get my information from her, because I'm not going nowhere. And baby, that was attractive as hell. Now, I ain't looked at Anthony all season for real. But baby, that was attractive as hell. Do y'all hear me? Anthony said, you're not about to sun me. Okay, now I don't care what you did with Andre and his tendril. You ain't about to sun me. Her ex is purposely trying to drive them away, and he ain't fooling me. Child, you did all that and didn't get nothing out of it. So he leaves, and James is like, Andre keep talking about the Forbes. Like, who cares? But with Anthony, I feel like he running game. 2 Chainz was not here for neither one of them. So Cynthia, you might have should have brought somebody else, child. And also, side note, the exes are not matching the ladies. Is it just me? The people ain't matching. Moving forward. In the next scene, Mercedes, her ex, Suan, her ex, Marcia, her ex, they all going for their dates, right? Marcia's ex did not look like the ex that I envisioned her being with. I don't know. It just, when he showed up, I was like, really? Marcia ain't got no type. He was a very nice man, but he just did not aesthetically look like I thought he would look. You know how you picture somebody's exes in your mind? That's not what I pictured. So her ex asked, what captured their attention when it came to Marcia. Tony said how smart and intelligent she is. They're the same thing. Okay. And I feel like Tony just be talking just to be talking, honey. He be saying any old thing. Blue said it was her communication. Most of the time it's the man checking on the woman, but she always checks on him, and he likes that. Over with Mercedes, she invited Mark Anthony and Anthony. Baby Anthony going on, and you get a date, and you get a date. Baby Anthony is everywhere. Everywhere and no damn well all at the same damn time. So he over there as well. So Anthony starts to tell him how, opposites attract, and he's at a place where he can invest in a partnership. Mark Anthony, on the other hand, is like, yeah, I have to be right for myself. Like, I don't have to be good enough for nobody but myself. Sir, you are definitely all about yourself. That answer told me that Mark Anthony is self-absorbed and puts his needs before his partners. Because if y'all remember, he said, I want a woman that's going to put me before them. Yeah, Mark Anthony, you can go as well. But see, I already knew you was on some BS, so this is not a surprise to me. Moving forward. Over with Susu, she invited Blake and Anthony. Child, hey, Blake. Anthony tells us that he's the oldest out of 10, so he tries to really set an example. It's like a lot of pressure and whatnot. So Blake was like, yeah, I need to evaluate the family to see if I'm going to fit in. No, the family needs to evaluate you. Okay? So he asked Blake, well, how did your last relationship end? He's like, what do you mean? Like, did it end amicably? Like, what are you saying? He don't never understand a question. Could you rephrase that for me? Sir, he's asking you, how did it end? Did she burn your house down? Shout out to Morgan. Did she burn your house down? Did you ghost her? Did you cheat? How did it end? Like, what? So he said, okay, how do you handle conflicts? How did you handle conflict with your ex? He's like, I don't do conflict. That's not what your ex saying all over Beyonce's internet. Okay. She said you definitely do conflict. Okay. That's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. Allegedly. And clearly it didn't end well if you're confused as to what he means by how did it end. So he's like, well, I'm a verbal communicator and I overly communicate to find out the problem. Blake, you couldn't be a verbal nothing. You haven't been able to carry a conversation yet. Not yet. Back with Marcia, her ex is asking Blue where Marcia stood. And he said, well, I mean, we're at 1 and 2 right now. Tony said, listen, no disrespect to you, Blue, but we have been here a long time and you have plenty of time to know where Marcia stands. Like, what is going on? So Blue is like, I'm not going to let anybody pressure me. I don't have a number 1. I have 2 number 2s. Okay, goodbye, Blue. See you on the way out, Blue Eyes. So it took me some time. Goodbye. Moving forward. In the next scene, all the dates are over. Thank God. So Mercedes is asking her ex who he would choose. And he said with Mark Anthony, he doesn't see long term. He doesn't see husband. He feels like he's a smooth talker. I'm with you, ex. I'm with you. But with Anthony, he's like, that dude is ready for life. Mercedes' ex seems to be such a nice guy. Now, I don't know how he is, and he's an ex for a reason, but he just seems nice. He was the nicest, most normal ex out of all of them. Anywho, Susu's ex said that he would choose Anthony for her. He said Blake reminds him of himself 20 years ago. Blake don't even really like Sue. Let's just be real. Okay? Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Honey, let's just be honest. Let's just be real. He don't really like her. Okay? He was like, I'm not convinced he's ready. He's not. He ain't ready for nothing. Over with Marcia, her ex felt like Blue was playing coy. No, just Blue is just very flat. He has the personality of a rock. Okay? It's not that he was playing coy. He just doesn't really have a personality. But he did like the way Tony was direct, but he's not sure if Tony is going to take care of her feelings, and he won't. Okay, he gonna tell her everything she want to hear, and he ain't gonna do nothing at all. Yeah, he can't be trusted. In the next scene, Andre invited Jeffrey over for a romantic home-cooked dinner. So he made Caribbean food, and she's like, it's perfect. And girl, she's like, it was restaurant quality too. It looked so good. How would you know it was restaurant quality? You ate 2 grains of rice. How would you know? I really wish Jeffrey would speak as though she's gone through puberty. I'm so sick of it. I don't even know. Hey, baby. Girl, shut up. Everybody getting on my nerves. Shut up. She's like, well, can you feed me a little bit? Baby bites. You know I don't like large bites. You know it. When he fed her that food, I said, now who in the hell can't eat a whole fork full of food? I was like, what is happening? So child, he's feeding her. So she's like, when I look at you, I just see such a strong black man, and I love it. I was like, oh child. So he gets up, they share a kiss. I don't know what kind of lipstick or lip stain that Jeffrey was wearing, because Andre had a full lip when they got done kissing. I said, baby, it was given, I just stopped by the Mac counter. Baby, it was giving a quick trip to Sephora on my lunch break. I was like, what is happening here? She's like, I'm just thinking, and I want to marry this man. Him cooking dinner was very nice, but I feel like Jeffrey tells that to everybody. Girl, you feel that way about all of the men. Every man you go out with, you can see yourself marrying them. You just don't seem genuine, hon. You just really don't. I am sure after Cynthia's ex, Andre was happy as hell not to see hers. In the next scene, all the ladies meet back up. Morgan, so you just gonna be bare-breasted? It's bad enough y'all in the back of a church with liquor. Not you gonna be bare-breasted in front of this man. Okay? Close your jacket up just a little bit. I said, baby, Morgan got it all out. All of it. Okay? And I done seen that little bustier thing that boosts your boobs up. There's nothing there. It's just those little hooks underneath. I said, child, what? Anywho, so all the ladies come in, they sit down. They're looking crazy, looking absolutely drained. So he asked the ladies who they were feeling. So Sue started first, and Tommy asked what Paul thought about Anthony. She said with Anthony, Paul liked him because he felt like Anthony would allow her to be in the forefront, which she wants to do. So Mercedes said her ex also liked Anthony. Here goes Cynthia. Well, y'all can't have him. Honey, I know that's right, child. You better fight for your man. But what about Andre? Nah, I wouldn't deal with Andre either. He said he might feel different about you the next day. So Cynthia was like, mine went terrible. Absolutely terrible. James was coming in hot. He was grilling Andre. Andre got up and left. He wanted Anthony's number, and Anthony told him, you can have my number. You can call me later because I'm not going nowhere. Baby, I know that's right. So Morgan talks about her meeting with Junior and Tony, and she was like, yeah, I mean, Lyndon was good, but, you know, he was just his sweet self. But with Tony, he was sitting over there frowned up, and things were kind of going well until Junior told them what I did towards the end of our relationship. So Tommy was like, what did you do? She said, well, I mean, he was a liar, and I mean, God forgive me, but vengeance was mine. He said, what did you do? She said, I put Nair in his hair. She said it was so much pride too, y'all. Okay, listen, y'all. Because y'all know I'm going to come back and I'm going to own my stuff. I'm no Blake fan, but y'all were right. Something is wrong with Morgan. Something is wrong with her. Now, I felt like she should have went in on Blake because, you know, Blake said something that I felt was offensive. Everybody else may have not felt that way. But she did put a little stank on it after rewatching it before this episode came on. And this right here, oh, no, ma'am, honey. And I could tell something wasn't right with Tony, but she seems to give a little thin line between love and hate. I wouldn't want to deal with Morgan, honey. If I were you, I would run. Okay? So Jeffrey was asked who she was feeling, and she said Mark Anthony. She said, we met in a life before we met. Child, Mark Anthony probably was still a toddler in the past life that y'all met in. And how has he become your soulmate, but you was ready to marry Andre? See, this is what I'm talking about. She's like, he deserves of me. Jeffrey, that man is not ready for all that you come with. And it's a lot. I don't know what else you hiding, but he's not ready for that. So Tommy asked who they weren't feeling. Jeffrey said Anthony. Susu said Tony. Mercedes said Blake because he appears to play games and does. Morgan said, yeah, Blake is just not a good person. She also chose Mark Anthony because Mark Anthony thinks she's gorgeous. She thinks he's gorgeous. That's where it ends. Marcia said Blue. She said, I feel like he gives me friend vibes. He had more than ample time to come out with it and he ain't doing nothing. Blue can go. Blue, your time is up, honey. He gets lost amongst everyone. I never remember him until I see him on my screen. We can all get, now I already know what everybody gonna say. We can all give up that Blake needs to go. Production is going to keep Blake because this season is giving chamomile tea and we about to go get ready to go to bed. And they're keeping Blake to give people something to talk about. It's provocative. It gets the people going. So Blake is gonna stay, child. So we do not have to put down in the comments, why is Blake still here? Why is Blake still? He ain't going. Okay. He said, I'm staying, and you, and you, and you're gonna love me. Honey, that's what he's giving us. In the next scene, Marcia goes to meet Blue for the Eliminate. Marcia's like, yeah, I haven't heard from you. He said, yeah, I had to work. She said, well, I wanted to talk to you after the date with the exes because it was fresh on my mind. Over with Susu, she meets up with Blake. Back with Marcia, she tells Blue that she feels like talking to him is like pulling teeth. Back with Suanne, she tells Blake in the women's lounge the feedback is that he's being misleading. Oh, now you want to believe what they saying in the women's lounge. Girl gone. Back over with Marcia, she's telling Blue that the ladies feel like they don't know his romantic side. He's like, well, when I have someone, then they get my all. Well, sir, now is the time to start giving a little of a sneak preview. Ain't nobody got time to play with you. So she's like, yeah, so the women feel you are not ready to love. So Blue goes, well, I'm not for everybody. The process shows good guys don't last. It's not about that, Blue. You got lost in the sauce. It's not about you being a good guy and not lasting because your woman or your person could have very well been there. But you were not given anything. I don't know if you've been resting on your eyes all these years, but you weren't doing anything. Anywho, Blockhead Blake lives another episode, child. He's like, well, I'm happy I'm still in the process because I'm not ready to let you go yet. Goodbye. And that was the end of the episode. So, child, this was the most interesting episode of the entire season. Those exes were really asking the burning questions. And James is trying to get his own spinoff, child. Shout out to James and his 2 chains. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.